Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a middle of the month for the month of March tarot oracle reading. And Capricorn, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign isn't Capricorn, we still have a little bit of Capricorn in us. If you have your birth chart, which house is Capricorn in? That's where this energy will show up for you. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. This is a timely reading, meaning that if you're watching it at this time, it's the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, then take a look what was going on back then in your life. It may give further clarity as to your situation now. We're going to begin with the underlying energy, and we have, yay, the 10 of Pentacles. So the Pentacles in tarot represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. A big part of that, of course, is money, and so the coin represents is a symbol for the energy of the element is actually earth. And Capricorn, you are the authority on the element of earth. You're the most mature of all the elements, of all the signs that are in the element of earth energy. So this is perfectly suited for you. And this is talking about it's raining money. But it's not just the money. You could have all the money in the world and not be living the lifestyle you want. So this is talking about you have the mansion, you have the money, you have the perfect partner, and you have the children and the pets, and you also have time to enjoy it. So you can even stop to visit with your neighbors and be in a position of enjoying the lifestyle that you're in. Okay, so that's the underlying energy for the entire reading. Now we're going to get the underlying energy for the internal forces, and we do have the Emperor. So the Emperor is all about performance. The Emperor is all four kings from the minor arcana rolled into one individual. He is he wears his armor underneath his robe because he is like ready at a moment's notice to grab onto any opportunity and make some shift happen. He is known, like he's an alpha male all the way through. Whatever he is, whatever profession he's in, he would be at the top of that profession. And he's really got a really good control of his emotions and a good discipline of his mind, very intelligent, someone that people look up to because he's successful. And he's successful because he applies himself as an alpha male, basically. And we have, look at this, we have the King of Pentacles as well. So hey, this is right up your alley, Capricorn. The Capricorn energy is all about being really responsible. Capricorn energy, the glyph that represents Capricorn is the sea goat. And so, you picture this, a goat trying to climb up a mountain, and it's got like the front end is a goat, but the back end is a dolphin tail. And so this is someone that's very disciplined and really can take discipline to take consistent steps of action to reach their goals. If they fall down, they fail, they just get right back up and keep on climbing. And it's because of this that they're so successful. And so the King of Pentacles would represent someone that would be, in the pentacle, like in the money industry, basically. This would be someone that would maybe be in the banking industry. Because he's a king, he would be at the top. So he would be, in the top of, at least a bank manager, that kind of energy. And this could also represent financial advisor, that type of energy, life insurance, retirement planning. This energy, it would be, if he is someone like that, it would be someone that is a partner, at that level in a large firm. And the robe that he's wearing is covered in grapes. And the reason it's covered in grapes is because grapes in the tarot represent a luxury, and it's a luxury that is hard to grow, but the King of Pentacles does that with ease. This would be someone also that could be like the head financial advisor of a corporation, someone who people look up to and respect for their business acumen. And then we have Okay, so but we have this a mental prison, an 8, and then this is the 8 of Swords. So the swords represent your thoughts and your discipline of your mind. Also, they represent, the energy of your logical mind more than your intuitive, although these are double-edged swords. And so this card is representing someone that feels like they're in a mental prison. This more or less represents overthinking, like chewing on something for too long and not being able to make a decision. And quite often the energy with the binding here is representing someone who feels duty bound. And because they feel duty bound, they can't they don't feel like they can just walk away from it, because there's nothing stopping this person from, moving forward. But the blindfold represents an energy of not being able to see your way out of something. But the energy here, you can see there's water here, and I feel like when this started, this energy could be that there was way more water, and water in tarot represents emotion. You can see the right foot is moving forward and it's on dry land. So and there's just one sword here and all the rest are behind them. So this energy, I feel, is saying that, okay, she's starting to take a step forward. Her left foot is still in the puddle, but it's a shallow puddle. It's not saying your emotions are shallow, but there's way less emotion involved, so it's easier to make decisions. This can also represent thoughts that were happening behind your back, something you had no knowledge of, and having to walk away from that energy to be able to get out of the situation. And we have the Ace of Pentacles coming in. So the Ace is talking about new energy coming in. This is a gift from the divine and from the universe collaborating, because you've stayed on your path here, your destined path, despite what was going on here. And there's definitely something happening here. The pentacle is like a reward for following your North Star. And so your North Star energy actually represents the North Node. And we actually have, right now, Mercury is in retrograde, but Mercury is about communication. It's the planet that rules communication. And Mercury went into retrograde on the 26th of February and will be retrograde until the 20th. It just means that from the viewpoint of the Earth, it's moving backwards. And so it's infamous for causing problems with communication and technical problems, and issues like that. It's a great time for reviewing the past and seeing what you can learn from it, and being in an energy of, looking into the past and seeing what you could learn from it so that you can do differently. And this energy is talking also about on the 20th, the Mercury energy goes direct. Having said that, on the 23rd of March, the North Node energy, the North Star, moves into be with Mercury for like the day, basically, for the 24-hour period on the 23rd. And so that is a really good time for really taking the time to go inward and do some meditating and, quiet your mind and really feel for what the answers are to your issue. We have the energy also of the High Priestess. So the High Priestess, she's sitting on her throne in between these two pillars. These two pillars represent extremes. She's very joyful because she sits next to God in the heavens, and this represents Jesus and this represents the devil, the ultimate of two extremes. But she's comfortable in between because she follows the cycles of the moon, and she understands how to use that energy to be really, really intuitive. And that's her greatest gift, is using her intuition. So this is like when you get into overthinking, that the energy here is about being intuitive. And so we've had this eclipse season come in, and eclipse seasons cause a lot of significant change in people's lives. A lot of times you'll just notice this It's over like an extended period though. Like the energy of eclipses will last for around 6 months, you know, but it's subtle, it's in the background. But when you look back after the 6 months, you'll go, whoa, I made a lot of changes, you know, significant changes in my life then. And this energy is something that we can see happening on the planet right now. Like there's a lot going on in the planet right now with the files being released and with war starting. And I think we've been at that for 10 days now as I'm doing this reading. There's just a lot happening on the world right now. You know, for the first time in 3 centuries, someone from the monarchy in the UK was actually arrested. I mean, it's just been like things that you think would never change, systems that, you know, you never thought, oh, this is never going to change, are changing. And we're really seeing that right now. And so this energy is like really moving into this new energy because there's a lot of planets right now, Neptune and Saturn, which are very large planets, and they have a strong influence. They moved into Mars together in the last 2 weeks. And we have Venus, which rules love, moved into Mars and into like the Aries energy, which is ruled by Mars on the 6th of March. So, and there's just a lot of activity like that right now. And Aries is like the planet right now, or the sign that a lot of this energy is. And Aries represents the infant of the zodiac. It's the very first sign. So, you know, the energy of Aries is ram, you know, it's actually, the glyph is a ram, and so this is very rammy energy. And so this is like, you know, babies, they come in head first, right? And it's talking about having to learn things, learn to do things that you did that one way, that you learned how to do them one way. Now you have to change that and be more open to doing things in a new way and being a little bit more experimental with that to see what works in this new energy right now. And we have a tower coming in. So the tower represents an energy of, you know, a sudden change, bang. It happens, and the tower quite often happens at the least possible opportune time. Like it's like comes out of the blue. It's usually something like we have 2 people falling out of the, you know, lightning has hit the tower. It's on fire. These people are falling out, and one looks really shocked, and the other one looks like kind of like, I kind of was wondering if this might not happen. And so the tower represents like a reality check. Like it's putting people back in it's, you know, it's a very uncomfortable energy, but sometimes it is the best thing. Like when you look back, just like the eclipse season, you'll look back at it and say, wow, you know, that was the best thing that could have ever happened, but it sure as hell didn't feel like it when it was happening. It's that kind of energy. And so your intuition, this is, you know, it's following the card with intuition. And it's like saying, you know, your intuition was probably saying to you, hey, you know, you might want to look at that, but you weren't listening. And then, you know, the frying pan comes out whack over the head, and you're like, oh, that hurt, but I'll take care of it. I promise I'll take care of it in a week, but you don't. Then the 2x4, no, we still don't. So then the lightning has to hit the tower. And so that you wake up, pay attention to what's going on here. You really need to look at this. If you don't deal with this, it's going to become a major, major issue. And when the tower hits, that's when like it's like, whoa, like you have to look after it then. And we have the Fool. So interesting because, you know, we have the eclipse energy sort of was coming in here, and then we have the reality check hitting, and now, boom, you're on a new journey. So this is talking about this energy is going to be ending soon, and you're going to be moving more. There could be a tower, because when you find out, maybe there's something you still don't know, or something you know, like if this has been energy happening behind your back, then there's gonna, you know, as the truth comes out, it could be painful to hear, but the truth will always set you free. So once you get through this and the reality check hits, then you'll at least be able to take action. And I feel like this is what this card represents. Like, you know, look at the difference. You'd much rather be in this energy than in this energy. So it may not be a lot of fun, but it's better than being stuck here for any more time. And so the Fool energy is at the 0 point. So the Fool starts out on their journey in the major arcana. They're the 0 point, and then after that, when they get to the 21st card, that's the World, and then that cycle is over and it's time to start another one. Some people have a lot of cycles of journeys with the Fool energy, and some people might live a whole lifetime just with one cycle. It just depends on your character and what happens in your life. So these are the what ifs. The internal forces, you can tell they're internal forces because the question you'll be asking is, what if this happens? What if they do this and then I do that? What will happen then? What if they don't do this? What will I have to do then? It's kind of like, and that's what gets you in this, your internal forces are all mixed up and you get caught in a loop of questions. So this is how you're identifying with yourself though right now, is that that you have the business sense, you feel like you are, people do respect you and you understand that, but there's something that's happened here because this is talking about your abundance and self-worth. So if you're in this position and, we have this energy of having a really good lifestyle and being a high level performer in your internal forces, this is like the epitome of performance. Then if you're in this energy, then it's something that really it probably really was something that blindsided you. And so this is talking about how you feel about your self-worth right now, and like the moving forward, you don't feel hopeful. This is communication from your early life. I feel like you've always been the kind of person that's been able to walk on the glass is half full side. But something has happened here that really has shaken you up. And I feel it's because it happened behind your back. And we have that castle in the background. It's maybe been something in your personal life, not in your business life, is what I feel. Mind you, remember, like this is a good example. You could have all the pentacles in the world, but if you're not living the lifestyle that you want to live, then it's, you need to make changes. And so this is talking about using your intuition and your emotional foundation. So you may, usually people when they're this successful are using both sides of the sword, like their intuition and their logic together to come to creative solutions to solve problems. And so this is talking about use your intuition, use the energy of the eclipse season. When Mercury's in retrograde, quite often, like you'll have people come in from the past. And if they've left you in this energy, why would you entertain allowing them back in? Or you need to clean this up so that you can move forward. It's kind of that energy. And this is talking about romance. And this can also be involving children and, your creativity. Yeah, when you're in this energy, it's really challenging to be creative, that's for sure. And to be able to find creative solutions for this problem. This is talking about your daily routine is getting shaken up here, because once this happens, then you're going to be on a new journey. And of course, it's going to change your daily routine, and maybe you need to make some changes in your daily routine. This can represent health and how you, different habits that you have. We're going to check now what are the external forces. So the external forces, we have the Hierophant coming in. The Hierophant is actually representing bringing justice in. The Hierophant is also about traditional structure. And so, if you considered yourself to be a religious person, the Hierophant, you could think about that as someone that represents someone that's at the top level of religion, of a church. So this could be, the Pope, the Cardinal, the Bishop, that kind of energy, gurus. If you're more of a spiritual person, then it would be like you just go direct straight to God by going inward and meditating and praying. And then this can also represent bringing that spiritual justice down to earth. So and that would represent the legal systems, like that type of energy. This card can represent, there's the Hierophant has his hand in a blessing. So this is saying that this is a blessing coming in from traditional structure. So something is coming, something is changing here with this card here. This is actually the position for your marriage, partnerships, and commitments. So there's some sort of energy coming in, but actually this is more for the whole, okay, this is, sorry, I got ahead of myself. So this is the external forces coming in, and this is card, so this is awesome because this is saying that it's all the external forces coming in are going to be a blessing because the truth is coming in, and it's going to come all the way from the spiritual realm all the way down to the physical. So if there needs to be some justice served, that's going to come in with this Hierophant energy, and it will be in the form of a blessing. So the external forces are the question that you'll know, like this is an external force, is instead of saying what if this happens, you'll be saying what the F happened. And that is like EF, external forces happen. That's what happened. You can't control external forces. Like you can, like that could be economic pressures. It could be the actions of other people and what people say and do. You can't control that, but you can control whether you react to that energy or you respond to it. And so let's see what is happening here. Look at this. We have this right here. Love to see this for you, Capricorn. This is awesome because this is talking about the sun coming in. The sun is the happiest card in the deck, and this is the card for your partnerships, commitments, and marriage. So I do feel like this energy, I was saying before that, it seems like you're doing really well, lifestyle and pentacle energy, but it seems you're also doing well in or after this change happens. That's the energy that's coming in. So after you make this shift here, after this reality check comes in and you're on a different, the energy cuts off here and you're in this energy, then all of a sudden you are more on your divine path. That's what this represents. The sun represents God, all-knowing. And this is talking about staying on your destined path, and that you were destined to be a happy child, like to be happy. This is the happiest card. It shines light and information on all the other cards. And it's also talking about staying on your divine path. And basically, a lot of times people will be like, well, what's my purpose? I can't figure it out. Well, your purpose you can start with is just being the best version of you that you can be, and applying that. The sunflowers turn with the sun, and it's saying that they choose to be happy. They choose to take in the rays of the sun. And this banner is very heavy, but this child is carrying it with ease. There's no reins. This is like, woohoo, and so this is saying you are destined to have a happy love relationship. That's what you're meant to have. So this new journey may be, if there was something happening in your partnerships, commitment, and it could be a partnership with someone in a business sense, but this is actually your marriage as well. Your partner in business could be your spouse. That could also be. And then we have this transition card here is representing I'm sorry, I've got a purring cat on my lap and I don't have the heart to push her off, and so I'm gonna have to reach a bit with the cards like this. And she's just she's doing a really good job of raising the vibration for us. You might not be able to hear her purr because I have a noise canceling mic on, but she's purring away here. So this is representing the wounded warrior. The element here is the element of fire. And this is talking about, this person is a wounded warrior. This is representing the energy of doing your best to stay on your destined path, but it's been a struggle. And here we have like these wands represents energy like that, so seeds that you've sown through your actions or from the actions of other that are in your life, that are affecting your life. And this is talking about like you managed to land these. And so, these start off as seeds and they grow. And so whatever is growing here is behind you now, and you managed to land these. You're leaning on the ninth. You're exhausted though, like it looks like, you know, you have a headache from the whole thing. And so this is moving into your sign of transition, that there's going to be a change in this energy now. And that's good, because this is, and one thing I want to point out, because we did have the horse come in here, is the horse energy. We, on the 17th of February, when we had the new moon in Aquarius, and that was that energy of, am I going to be a leader for the group, or am I going to look after my own individual needs? I feel that you went with the group energy, because, and it's exhausted you. And like this, the energy of the fire horse energy, like on the 17th, it was the new moon, it was also the eclipse, and it was the first day of the Chinese New Year. And we moved from the year of the snake into the year of the fire horse energy. And so this is like an energy of like inspiration and really wanting to set high achievement goals, being, you know, like in matters of love, really heartfelt and passionate. And the danger, though, is to be impulsive. You know, if you've ever seen a horse grab the bit in its mouth and take a run, and all you can do is hang on at that point. You can't stop a horse if it spooks and does that. All you can do is pray that you get through it safely, basically. And that's a danger of impulsive energy. And also, it's an energy of doing this, putting too much, you know, having too much on your plate and ending up totally exhausted, and it can affect your health and your wealth and everything. And so that's the danger of the fire horse energy, is taking on too much. This card represents, you need to, if there's some wands here that are not, they're burdens that don't belong to you, you need to put them down and let other people who are responsible for those burdens pick that up. And let go of the energy of, oh, I have to, like that's my, it could be someone really close to you, and you feel like, well, I can't do that, you know, like I can't. And you're probably thinking, well, that person would never do that to me. It can't be true kind of energy, until you accept, yes, they can and they did, and you need to let them deal with the burden of that instead of taking on everybody else's burdens, because it's leaving you in this energy and it's affecting your life. And this is what is saying needs to change. This is the transition, and from the external forces. And then now we have the energy of the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is sitting on her throne, and the cups are all about love. Quite often it represents romantic love, but it can also represent love of everyone else around you. And it can represent something that you love to do or be. And she has this cup with a lid on it. And this is representing that she's a container of unconditional love. And it's like almost like a trophy. So sometimes this can, like, this is the queen that's most likely to be in a traditional, you know, relationship, in a marriage. And she'll, you know, loves to look after the house and loves to look after people and be, you know, that be able to be available for people emotionally. This energy is very steady when it comes to love. Having said that, sometimes this can also represent the maternal bloodline. So it could represent your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, that kind of energy. And as an external force here, it could be that she has a huge influence on your life, and maybe it has something to do with that energy. You might be someone who is married, and because this card came up in your romance and children and creativity, it could be that you are caught in between, like having a family and working and all of that energy. And maybe one of your parents, maybe your mother became ill, and you are having to deal with that as well as your children and your work and your, you know, everything else. And I'm feeling a little bit like that. It could have something to do with that. A lot of people get kind of caught in between that energy, and it is very challenging. to deal with, because there's only so many hours in the day. And, you know, if you're running a company, you have also all the, like, and say it's your company, you're an entrepreneur, you have, like, say even like 100 employees. Those employees are counting on you to be able to feed their families and everything. So it can be, I feel like it's that kind of energy coming in. And this is talking about all the opportunities of the cups, though, that are coming towards you, like that are meant for you. And this is about your career and your reputation and that kind of energy. So I feel like this reality check, although it may be really challenging, you will look back and say, wow, look at all the opportunities that came in because I chose to take a look at my life, and all of these made me make some changes. Okay, we're going to have to let something go here, and okay, I can put this one down and I can put this one down, and hey, already I feel like my load is lighter, that kind of energy. And so these opportunities coming in, each of these cups has a different gift in it, representing a different opportunity. And the thing is you're like a black hole here, and you're like sucking in all the opportunity. But the thing is, like, when you're a black hole, it means that you're the center of your universe, and you have to be able to put your own spin on this. So you need to decide, like, which of these opportunities do you want to tackle at this time, and how many. And this is about recognizing that you are on your destined path, and as such, these are going to be available for you. And you don't have to take them all on at once and worry, oh, what if I miss out on something. It's an energy where you're the one who's in charge here, and it's at your speed, whatever, how you want to handle these. Now, a lot of these cups, these opportunities might come in looking like challenges, because possibilities are quite often disguised as challenges. But I feel like this is going to really empower you in many ways, in your reputation, your career, to even get further ahead than you would by just putting in, like, all this work and maybe taking on projects that you don't need to, that you could delegate to other people. I'm getting that kind of energy. And so we have the Queen of Swords coming in. Yeah, so the Queen of Swords is sitting on her throne, and she is very discerning. She has been there, done that, and she has bought the t-shirt. And she is not willing to put up with any bullshit. So she has her left hand out, extended out, and she's willing to take this happiness in and all of that. But you better come into her straight up, because she is not in the mood for bullshit. She doesn't have the time for it. She has her sword out, and she has her head above the clouds. So she knows what she wants in her life and what she doesn't, and she's learned the hard way and is not willing to go through the same, through being in this energy again. And so I feel that's the energy that you need to get into here, and it will really benefit you. Also, we have, look at this, a soulmate energy. So soulmates quite often can represent someone that is a romantic partner. So you might not have someone, you might have been so busy working on your pentacles that you don't have, like, a love interest here, because this feels like it's more like your family energy. And so maybe this is about finding the perfect person to share all of, that you've worked towards here. And you have everything coming in, and everything's in your favor. And now, because you let go of burdens and, you look after this energy, all these new opportunities are coming in, and you're discerning about what you take on. Like, you don't take on any extra that doesn't belong to you. There could be, if this is an energy where one of your parents became ill, and you need to deal with that, then you can find, you have the money, it looks like here, to be able to pay people to help you out. And maybe you have felt like, no, I need to be there 24/7, but eventually that will catch up with you. Trust me, I know I've been in that situation. My dad collapsed in a 36-hour period. He had Guillain-Barré syndrome. He was totally paralyzed from head to toe. He was 68 when it happened. And he was running his business at that time. And I mean, he had to learn how to walk, talk. He couldn't even breathe on his own. He could only blink his one eye. And bang, our whole family, like he was our rock. And our family had to adjust to that. And it was hard. And it was really challenging to see him like that. But, you know, he did regain his ability to eat, breathe, talk, walk. You know, it took a lot, and it took a lot out of him. But, you know, and going back and forth to the hospital every day, and I had kids, and my husband at that time had, you know, he was working offshore, and so he was gone a lot, and there was just so much happening with the kids were in a lot of sports and all of that, and I was also working. It was really challenging, and so I recognized this, you know, this burnout energy from trying to be everything to everyone, and not be like, there's not enough of you to go around. Eventually, if you become like this, you could become sick, and then nobody's going to get anything from you. So it's saying, if you're in that position right now, you have to look after yourself too. And you have to make concessions about maybe hiring people, if you can afford to take on some of the load, so that you can get into this position. And I feel like this is, God sees how hard you're working, in the universe, or they're conspiring to send someone in to bring this soulmate energy in. The soulmate is someone that's sent in when you've been on your path. And this is someone that is meant to empower you on a soul level as well as on the physical. And it's right on the spiritual, your spiritual energy here. So this is really good to see. If you're in a situation like that, just know that it's going to ease up here for you. I really do feel it will, like with this reading. So, you know, if you feel like, okay, I have enough information and you're leaving the reading now, please do give it a like and comment. It really helps me build my channel. I really appreciate it. And also consider subscribing. I would be honored if you did so. And now I'm going to clarify with my oracle. My oracle is Tales from the Vector. It's from the Intergalactic Federation of Light. I started working on it in 2007. There's some really big paintings. I'm an artist. There were 64. And I finally completed all the paintings in 2020. Now I want to bring the deck out eventually here, but I want to play with it a little bit before. I have the written information, but you may have noticed in real life that what looks good on paper doesn't always work the same when you put it into action. So I'm playing with the cards with you here. And I will, the numbers on the cards here represent how the paintings are presented in my gallery. And I will put the numbers of how they show up here in the order they do, and put it in the description box below. And my website is talesfromthevector.com, and that I will also have in the description box. So we have transition coming here on this. So your lifestyle, I'm getting you do normally live a really good lifestyle, but there has been something that's happened. And I feel like sometimes what happens when we're really super hyper focused, and this generally can happen in eclipse season, where there's a real weakness somewhere, and I just keep picking up this energy of this extra burden coming in from an older individual in your family. And I feel like maybe, you know, you thought maybe you could trust the people that were, you know, running your business and that, but the more you're away, then you find out, oh, they really don't, you know, that you couldn't count on them as much as you thought you could. And that's kind of the energy coming in. And eclipse season kind of does that. Like whatever's the weakest area, we hyper focus on that, and it's really good because we get, you know, solutions to what's happening there. But at the same time, we sometimes lose sight of the big picture. And so we're so focused on this area that the business area suffers a little bit. So this is talking about this energy of being not enough. Like you're not able to do everything here. yourself is talking about, okay, we're going to be, that there's a transition happening here. And the energy also coming in is, we have father figures. So this is talking about, this energy could be something like what I said, like that maybe both of your parents, have, like, something has happened in that situation, they're aging, and or something like that. And so when the father figures comes up, normally it can be father issues and stuff, but I feel like that this is more saying something happened, and that you're having to step up and take that head of the family role that maybe your father used to take. So however that plays out for some of you. We also have disruption. Yeah, so there's what's fun for some is not fun for everyone. I feel like you being away from the business and having to deal maybe with this personal stuff, it has caused a bit of a disruption in your business. And like I said, maybe you thought you could count on the people to run it better for you than they did while you were busy doing this. And so the need to be right. Yeah, you could be really upset about it and say, like, be angry about it, and, be saying, well, how could you do that? And, and have to be right about it. But it's better to be happy. That's the energy. And then justice is coming in. So yeah, if there was any tomfoolery, I'm getting that, why that energy, but while you were away, and they thought, hey, that was a good time to take advantage of, doing something that was not on the up and up, that will come through, that justice is coming through, that's represented here. And then we have the shooting star energy. So yeah, this is saying, I feel that you have a really good attitude, and that's going to come back to you. Use your intuition at this time to find creative solutions as well, combined with your logic, and let go of this duty bound, like having to be everything to everyone energy, and just do what's necessary right now is what's coming up. And then we have the Gemini energy coming in. So this is about Mercury, communication, etc. And I explained to you that retrograde energy, how it can really be challenging when it comes to communication. And so maybe part of that energy was because the communication wasn't as clear as you thought it was about what needed to be done. And I'm just picking up that kind of energy. Also, if you're in this energy and you're in this energy and this energy, normally people just probably had no idea how much you were doing. Like, you made it look easy, and then maybe they just genuinely, honestly couldn't figure out, they're in a learning curve. Gemini represents the kindergarten energy, so maybe they really didn't know what to do, and you just assumed that everybody knows what to do because it's how you are. And so, destruction, progress in motion. You know what, though? I feel like when you look back on this, I'm still getting that you will find that, depending where you are in this situation, it's not comfortable. I'm not saying that you're going to be, oh, that was a comfortable time in my life. But I went through a similar, as I said, with my father. And after, he passed, I am so grateful that I took the time to get to know him better, because he was from the generation where he didn't spend that much, like, he was always away at work, and, he was in this role of, the emperor, and looking after everybody else's problems, and being a businessman. He was an entrepreneur, and that energy, when that happened with him, I became so close to him, and for the first time, him and I, we got to know, I got to know the real him, and I really, really am really grateful for that. It was really good. We have the Lover's energy here. So the Hierophant is, I feel this is saying, maybe you're alone in this and you don't have a partner, and this is saying that someone's coming in for you. This is the blessing coming in from the universe. Sometimes justice is just talking about living well, you know, that kind of energy. I'm not necessarily picking up anything here that's like really like people went out of their way to do shifty energy or anything. I just think that you didn't realize how much you do. And neither did they, but now they do. And so that's a good thing, because now people will be like, whoa, you are doing a lot. And so they'll recognize that. And that's like, you know, typical of Capricorn energy really at its height, is being that, you know, like super responsible and really being, you know, in that energy of being able to get a lot done. And so this is surrendering to God. Like sometimes, you know, that saying where God doesn't give you more than you can take. Sometimes during that time frame in my life, I really questioned that, but I'm still here, so it's true. And then this is the Chariot energy coming in. So this is the power, like when you get back on the path. And I'm getting for sure there's at least 3 of these wands that you could probably put down, and it would really benefit you to do so. Then we have, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So this is about higher learning. And I just feel like, you know, you can have all the best intentions of the world of like, I have to be the one that's there. But that's not necessarily going to be beneficial, because if you're in this energy, you can't stay in this energy and this energy for a really long period of time, or you're not going to be effective, you know, for others. And then we have the temptation energy. So this is talking, when the devil energy comes in like this, in a case like this is in your career, reputation. It's not uncommon, and you know, a lot of people will tell you this, when the shift hits the fan in your life sometimes like this, you'll be shocked at who's not there for you and who is there for you. That's the interesting part. A lot of people that you thought you could count on, as I said, you can't count on them, and you find that out the hard way. But there'll also be other people that come in that you're just shocked, because they do so, like they're there for you in a real strong way. So it's kind of a good energy to find out. When the devil energy comes in, I always like to cover it with the next card up, so that we can see, okay, the devil doesn't do his own dirty work. He sends in a minion, or what is it about? And there's some sort of trauma queen energy. So now you may have been with a partner or something, and this energy could have been like, you thought you could really rely on them, and maybe they walked on you or something, because this is talking fight or flight or freeze, basically. So some people don't handle drama that well, or they like the drama to be focused on them. And maybe you thought you could rely on your partner and they took a walk. I'm getting that kind of energy where like they might not have actually physically left, but eventually you had to ask them to, because they were not, you know, maybe you were fighting with them because like, why aren't you being more supportive here? And they might have just taken off because they couldn't handle the pressure. Or sometimes people will just freeze and they just, like this, they don't know what to do. And that's a real frustrating thing if you're trying to rely on someone and you're pressed for time, and you're all you know, that you thought you could count on them in that way, and you find out they're not good in an emergency situation. Then we have the Magician. So this being discerning is going to be a big benefit for you. Like it's a hard lesson to learn, but once you learn it, it's a good lesson to have. Then you start being more careful with your time and energy of who and what you invest in. And then we have denial. Yeah, what I don't know won't hurt me. So yeah, you know, like it can. But this is this energy here, I feel like if you're in a situation where you're alone now and you weren't before, there's something good coming in for you. If you're looking for a new partner to come in your life, there's a soulmate coming in, if you're interested. It's that kind of energy. So I do hope that this has brought you some value, and if so, please do give it a like and comment. It does help me to build my channel. And consider subscribing. I would be honored if you did so. I will be back with another reading. I'm going to do a bonus reading on the energy of the new moon coming in, and that'll be in the next few days. I'll start doing those. Bye for now.